has always been a key aspect in all past budgets, and this year is no different. The PM Gati Shakti Scheme is one of the cornerstones of this year's budget. This scheme, which was introduced late last year, has announced several connectivity projects and also the establishment of a platform for various ministries, state governments, and other government instrumentalities to come together for linking various connectivity projects along with logistics projects as well as industrial corridors. This looks at a very integrated development of various infrastructure sectors, which is something which is required given that some parts of the country are quite underserved and some of the capacity is unutilized. So proper linking of them would definitely help towards that. Private investment has been encouraged in these sectors, and that will really give a huge fillip to private sector investments and development of infrastructure in the country. There seems to be no legislative backing for this entire plan, which may smooth out certain issues in coordination between different ministries and also the private sector. Hopefully, we should see something of that sort, but even then, it's a step in the right direction. The National Monetization Plan has been made a part of this entire PM Gati Shakti scheme, as well as existing schemes such as Sagar Mala, Bharat Mala, Udan, etc., which are existing large-scale projects which have been announced over the past few years. Apart from this, one key theme that emerged was energy transition. There were no very large power sector reforms that were actually announced during this year's budget speech. Instead, what we looked at was encouragement of energy efficiency. This was done through giving some SOPs to manufacture of energy efficient mechanisms and devices, PLI incentives to solar power components such as high efficiency modules, PV modules, etc. Also encouraging development of cities around the idea of transit orientation and encouraging the public transport system in all these cities. This would also then involve connectivity within the cities and then linking it to connectivity outside the city. So as you can see, the entire plan for development is quite integrated. Apart from that, there has been encouragement for electric vehicles through battery schemes and interoperability of systems, which would give a huge fillip to this. And this is really important for India's targets for ensuring that climate change is something that we can control to some extent. Apart from that, there have been good reforms that have been already put into place for government procurement policies that the finance minister touched upon. This includes payment of 75% of running bills within 10 days of an invoice being raised. Also, dispute resolution to conciliation. This is not a new concept, but this has been brought to the front again. These measures will actually help to ensure that there are less disputes and also encourage private sector participation. One of the most interesting announcements that was made was the fact that performance guarantees, which have been a huge staple of infrastructure projects in India, will be replaced by the concept of security contracts, which are actually insurance contracts. These security bonds will then be issued by insurance companies instead of banks, and there is a completely different sort of complexion to it, and will free up the balance sheets of contractors and project developers, which will make projects more attractive for them, and also alleviate a lot of the financing issues that projects may have. The thing that we need to look at then is the legalities surrounding security bond contracts, because this would now be governed by laws relating to insurance as against banking, and the requirements under insurance laws for good faith and disclosures by persons taking advantage of insurance contracts are higher. So those things will also need to be looked at, apart from, of course, the IRDA guidelines, which are to be kept into effect on April 1st, 2022. There were large announcements, and what the current theme that seems to emerge is synergy and integrated development of various infrastructure projects within India. Thank you.